So, uh, can we start now? Yes, Ira, am I audible?
Yes.
Okay. Can we start?
Okay, sir.
Okay. We want to have all together means 1 hour time, so it's better to start in time. Later, people will join, or they may say may see the recordings. Okay. We don't have much time to finish all these. People will join later on. Paragraph number 33, I think we should start. Here you will get a term none plus ultra. What does that mean? Have you any idea about that none plus ultra?
There is nothing beyond.
Okay, there is nothing beyond. Okay, and this is an attitude we are facing nowadays with the orthodox organon lovers. Okay, they will say that there is nothing beyond organon, and we say no, that is other extreme. That is other extreme. There is beyond something beyond the organon. Organon is not rubbish, and organon is non plus ultra, not non plus ultra. Okay, we have to follow a mid path. So please read for paragraph number 33.
In such an important affair as that of healing, which demands so much intelligence, reflection, and judgment, how could the old school, which arrogates to itself the title of rational, choose as its best instructor, as its guide to be blindly followed? The intelligent vital force inconsiderately copied its indirect and revolutionary operations in diseases, imagining these to be the non plus ultra, the best conceivable when that greatest gift of God, reflective visions and unfettered judgment, was given us to enable us infinitely to surpass it in salutary help to suffering humanity.
Now underline this non plus ultra. We have discussed what is non plus ultra. There is nothing beyond this. And this attitude often we will find in homeopaths, orthodox homeopaths, who is saying that there is non plus ultra in beyond introduction, beyond organon. Okay, this attitude. Now underline this unintelligent. Unintelligent. This is one of the characteristics of vital force. Huh? We have pointed out some characteristics of vital force: unreasoning, intelligent, dynamic, autocratic, self-preserving. Okay, these are the characteristics of vital force. Now go on reading next paragraph number 34.
When the old school practitioners, thoughtlessly imitating the crude, senseless automatic vital energy with their counter-irritant and derivative method of treatment, by far their most usual plans attack innocent parts and organs of the body, either inflicting on them excruciating pain or, as is most frequently done, compelling them to
A bit
perform
slowly, read it
evacuations.
a bit slowly with punctuations. Okay, uh, we are trying to make organ reading easy, so it should be read in a sense that it is found a little bit understandable. If you are reading with punctuation, means there is comma, stop there a while if there is comma, and this what we faced is a line bracket. Okay, our method of dealing with the homeopathic philosophy is reading, understanding, and applying. So reading, in during reading, to make things easy, we will point out some things. Okay, this you found here, the dash, two dashes are here. Okay, by far their
Hmm.
most usual plan. It is called line bracket, used previously, not used nowadays. This is a line bracket. We have known already that there is first bracket, second bracket, third bracket, like that. This is a line bracket. Okay, you can read it, read the things without this also. This is a line bracket. Okay, and next,
Sir,
wait a little bit where there is comma and try to read it in a bit slowly. Okay.
sir, should I start from beginning?
No, start from line bracket.
attack innocent parts and organs of the body, either inflicting on them excruciating pains or, as is most frequently done, compelling them to perform evacuations, whereby strength and fluids are wasted. Their object is to direct the morbid vital action in the primarily affected parts away to those artificially attacked, and thus to effect the cure of the natural disease indirectly, by the production of a disease much greater in intensity and of a quite different kind in the healthy parts of the body, consequently by a circuitous way at the cost of much loss of strength and usually of great sufferings to the patient.
So we are dealing with a philosophy of derivative. Okay, we dealt with Tolecosm previously, where there was a straight way. Okay, they were trying to act in a straight way. They also find the cause and remove it. Okay, now this is a philosophy of derivative methods, where they are driving driving their methods by the copying nature. Okay, copying the natural processes, and so they are calling themselves minister natura. Those who are undergraduate students, they will get this footnote, this short note on minister natura, short note on deus natura. Okay, deus natura is copy the nature or imitate the nature, so that they are deriving their methods of evacuating, like they are purging. What nature used to do when there is overloaded stomach, they will try to evacuate either by vomiting or either by purging. So they will do vomiting or they will do purging with their medicine. This is derivative methods and calling deus natura, and those physicians calling themselves as the servant of nature, minister natura. Okay, these are the nothing but theoretic organon. There is theoretic medicine. Okay, no use of knowing for a physician are called theoretic medicine, and these are theoretic organon. Still being a question are being asked on these even in the MD examination, MD entrance examination. What is deus natura? What is minister natura? These are nothing but theoretic organon. You need to know for passing the examinations. Okay. So next, you will find here italic sentence: by the production of a disease much greater in intensity and a quite of a different kind. Okay. By what vital force was trying to do in chronic diseases, trying to locate these chronic diseases outside, somewhere outside, like in Sora, trying to develop the disease on the surface so that internal disease may be allayed. So by seeing this old school, what they were doing, they were trying to do, they were trying to produce an ulcer, counter irritative on the surface. They were trying to, we have read that setons and issues, they were trying to allay this epilepsy by doing this setons and issues. Okay, we have referred to aphorism number 40, where there is a reference of epilepsy allayed by setons and issues. These are not practiced nowadays, but it are in modern school, but these are practiced in old Ayurvedic school. Okay, punch karma therapy, you will find these practices in them. Okay, what they are doing, they are doing producing another disease in order to allay the one or other disease. Okay, so this is a kind of derivative. One kind of derivative is alternative, what we will deal in next few chapters. Alternative means trying to modify the disease. Can you give some examples in modern school where these alternative methods are still being used? Anyone? Alternative methods are still being used in modern medicine. Can you cite some examples? Trying to produce other disease, and they are naming it. This alternative method is one of the derivative methods. Okay, trying to produce other disease, trying to modify disease. Do you know any in modern school still being practiced? Do you know any?
Sir, they give
No.
one medicine to suppress the action of other medicine like painkiller. Then they are going. They will give again.
This is the example of antipathy. Is it not? Antipathy तो बहुत
Sir,
example देते.
বাংলায়
There are
বলবো?
lots of examples. हाँ बांग्ला बोलो.
স্যার বলছি যে হয়তো পেন কিলার দেওয়া হলো কিন্তু তার জন্য যে ওই মেডিসিনটা যে গ্যাস্ট্রিক বা কোনো কমপ্লেন প্রডিউস করবে তার জন্য আবার কোনো গ্যাস্ট্রিক সেই রকম মেডিসিন দেওয়া হলো এটা কি অল্টারনেটিভ?
No, this is not alternative. This is you can call side effects. Okay, side effects of antipathy. Again, the artificial disease produced, but that was not the motto. Producing artificial disease was not the motto of the modern school. It produced at a side effect. But there is a thing you will be surprised to know if you don't know already, that there is a thing they are doing with a motto of that, modifying the disease. Okay, go and read. That is why I am asking you to have some knowledge of allopathic pharmacology. Okay, there are things called DMDs. Have you heard about that? DMDs, disease modifiers, disease modifying drugs. Okay, disease modifying drugs, and the famous example for this is chloroquine. It is still being used in autoimmune diseases. Okay, they are called disease modifiers, DMDs. Go and read in easily available nowadays. These are easily available. You will get in on Google that what are disease modified drugs, disease modifying drugs, DMDs, and one of the famous examples for this is chloroquine. Okay, let me share with you a case of means these DMDs are used in mostly in some autoimmune diseases. Okay, a case of inflammation of the great toe came to me. Lady came to me and I was treating her for that inflammation of the great ball of the great toe. Okay, and it was a failure. Again and again the lady was suffering for long. Okay, and all the tests have been done, that RA factor, that uric acid, other antibody test for excluding any autoimmune diseases. Okay, SLE, scleroderma, like those things are there. Some small diseases are there which are autoimmune in nature. She left my treatment and went to a allopath. Allopath, seeing this, all the autoimmune diseases still means have been ruled out already. He started chloroquine. Okay, and the lady was cured of her this swollen great toe. Okay, lady was not cured, but these symptoms have gone. This chloroquine used to be given in massive doses, 400 mg twice daily. It is being used in treatment of malaria also, but in not that fashion. 400 mg and for means for so long. What purpose they are using this? Disease modifying. Okay, still DMDs. Chloroquine is one of the famous DMDs, and the lady comes to again came to me for other complaint which were resembling the proving of cinchona. Okay, can you believe this? The lady again came to me that Dr. Saab, ye to theek ho gaya. I have been to a allopath, a normal allopath, not a rheumatologist. Okay, he is practicing nearby where I am practicing. He is also practicing here, and he is a good physician. Okay, good primary care physician, a family physician, allopathic physician. My patient used to come to him, and his patient used to come to me for certain and such complaint. Okay, so the lady came to me and told me that I have been cured of this by I am suffering from these symptoms, and Syncona 200 was given and the lady was cured of these effects of chloroquine. So these DMDs are still being used as disease modifiers. What they are doing, they are modifying the disease. You will get in the text of medicine, they are recommending in these sort of diseases disease modifying drugs. Okay, non-steroidal disease modifying drugs. Steroids तो है ही, steroids are also disease modifying. What they are doing, they are suppressing the immune system so that disease symptoms may not come. Okay, so these are the things. Next aphorism, paragraph number 35.
The disease, if it be acute and consequently naturally of but short duration, may certainly disappear, even during these heterogeneous attacks on distant and dissimilar parts. Oh, it line bracket আছে sir? No. But it is not
Line
pure.
bracket? No, this is not line bracket. This is not line bracket.
Okay. This is nothing that can merit the honorable name of cure in the revolutionary treatment, which has no direct, immediate pathological relation to the tissues primarily affected. Often, indeed, without these serious attacks on the rest of the organism, would the acute disease have ceased of itself, sooner or most likely with the fewer subsequent sufferings and less sacrifice of strength. But neither the mode of operation of the crude natural forces nor the allopathic copy of that can for a moment be compared with the dynamic homeopathic treatment which sustains the strength while it extinguishes the disease in a direct and rapid manner.
Okay, so this is the means where allopathy is affecting on the part which is not disease. Heterogeneous means there are relations between drug and disease. Okay, drug and disease, there are relations. One is, what is the common thing between antipathy and homeopathy? Can you say what is the common thing between antipathy and homeopathy?
Both homogeneous. They act on the same symptom.
Not homogeneous. They act on the same affected parts. Okay.
Affected parts. Yes, sir.
Same affected part, but allopathy is heterogeneous. Okay, heterogeneous, not acting on the affected parts. Okay. Please go to aphorism number 22. Aphorism number 22.
So from the starting. But as nothing is to be observed in diseases that must be removed in order to change them into health besides the totality of their signs and symptoms, and likewise medicines can show nothing curative besides their tendency to produce morbid symptoms in healthy persons and to remove them in diseased persons. It follows on the one hand that medicine only become remedies and capable of annihilating diseases because the medicinal substance, by exciting certain effects and symptoms, that is to say by producing a certain artificial morbid state, removes and abrogates the symptoms already present, to which the natural morbid state we wish to cure. On the other hand, it follows that for
underline from medicines only becomes remedies. Underline medicines only becomes remedies. Next, by producing a certain artificial morbific, remove and abrogate the symptoms already present to it, the natural morbid state we wish to cure. Okay, up to this, underline this. Next next sentence, read next sentence.
On the other hand, it follows that for the totality of symptoms of the disease to be cured, in medicine must be sought which according as experience shall prove whether the morbid symptoms are most readily, certainly, and permanently removed and changed into health by similar or opposite medicinal symptoms, has a
Okay,
tendency
by
to produce
similar
similar.
or opposite. Still, Hahnemann is not telling that similar medicines are to be taken up to till now. Okay, it is will be decided by you whether it is similar or opposite. Okay, by similar or opposite. Or in the footnote here, you will get footnote. Read the footnote.
The other possible mode of employing medicines for diseases besides these two, the allopathic method, in which medicines are given which symptoms have no direct pathological relation to the morbid state, consequently are neither similar nor opposite, but quite heterogeneous to the symptoms of the disease.
Okay,
This, as
underline this.
shown above,
Underline this with the green. Okay, these are often your question in your examination. The definition of allopathy. So definition of allopathy you will get from here only. This is the definition of allopathy. Okay, so there are direct relation of the medicine with the morbid symptoms. Okay, it may be opposite, it may be similar, but there are a method. There is a method where no relation, direct relation has been entertained, which is quite heterogeneous, and that is called allopathy. Underline this. In which allopathy, in which medicines are given whose symptoms have no direct pathological relation to the morbid state, consequently are neither similar nor opposite, but quite heterogeneous to the symptoms of the disease. Underline up to this. This is the definition of allopathy. Okay. Acha. Here you will get an asterisk mark, and to that a footnote follows. I want you to go footnote the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10th line of that footnote in the 6th edition. 10th line of that footnote in the 6th edition. Read that. Vital energy.
vital energy which is implanted in our organism so long as it is healthy to carry on life in harmonious development, but not to heal itself in disease. For
Okay.
where it possessed of such a model ability, it would never have allowed the organism to get sick. When made ill by noxious agent, our life principle cannot do anything else than express its depression caused by disturbance of the regularity of its life by symptoms by means of which the intelligent physician is asked for aid. If this
Underline
not
this.
given,
This
it
is the relation. This is the relation we have discussed between vital force and the physician. Vital force is asking an intelligent physician, okay, for help. Okay, somewhere we have marked that accurate observer, okay, and intelligent physician, fully observing, investigating physician. This is the relation between the vital force and the intelligent physician. Underline this and underline that also. Vital energy which is implanted from that to up to, but not to heal itself in disease. Okay, what is the role of vital force? Role of vital force is to maintain the harmony. Okay, not to cure. फिर acute disease में क्या होता है? What happens in acute disease? Acute disease goes by itself. Vital force will try to relieve some symptoms by doing this and that, but due to shorter course of acute disease goes by itself. It is not cured by vital force. Okay, it goes by itself, while vital force is giving some symptomatic relief to the patient. Okay, next, read next.
If this is not given, it strives to save by increasing the ailment, especially through violent evacuations, no matter what this entails, often with the largest sacrifices or destruction of life itself.
This we have discussed
For
yesterday,
purposes
that unintelligent, unreasoning, unreflective vital force, what it will do? It will anyhow try to preserve the life at the cost of anything. One cornea, one foreign body in the cornea, it will cost its eyes to preserve. Okay, further. Okay, so destruction. If symptoms are given to the physician, if physician is not helping the vital force, what vital force will do? Try to sacrifice some parts in order to get relief of this disease. This is unintelligent. Okay. Next.
sir পরে পড়বো
Next para.
For purposes of cure, the morbidly depressed vital energy possesses to so little ability worthy of imitation, since all changes and symptoms produced by it in the organism are the disease itself. What
Like
intelligent physician would
symptoms produced by it in the organisms are the disease itself.
What intelligent physician would want to imitate it with the intention to heal if he did not thereby sacrifice his patient?
Clear? So in come to a footnote main portion where Hahnemann is telling that this has been discussed, review of therapeutic allopathic and palliative treatment that have hitherto been practiced in the old school of medicine, that can be discussed there. So in the main text Hahnemann is discussing, will discuss this antipathy and homeopathy. Allopathy review have been discussed in the introduction. What we are dealing now. Okay, so there are what we have ended here. Summing up, there are direct relation with the drugs and the disease. There may be similar, that may be opposite, but there are method where there is no direct relation being followed, and that is allopathy. And vital force is also a species of allopathy. Try to relieve the organism anyhow at any cost. Okay, so come back to the introduction. Now come back to the introduction.
Paragraph 36. In far the greatest number of cases of disease, however, these perturbing, debilitating indirect modes of treatment of the old school are scarcely ever of the slightest use. They suspend for a few days only some troublesome symptoms or other, which however returns when the system has become accustomed to the distant irritation, and the disease recurs worse than before, because by the antagonistic pains and the injudicious evacuations the vital powers have been depressed.
Okay, this happens in chronic disease. Okay, you are trying to treat chronic disease with these derivative methods, it won't go. Okay, in acute disease, why it goes? In acute disease, the acute disease is of shorter duration, patient will be recover by its own, but in chronic disease you have no cure with these derivative methods. Okay, in the bracket Hahnemann is telling, I mean by these of chronic nature, diseases of which are of chronic nature. Now read the footnote number 1 which was there in paragraph number 34. Footnote number 1, the second last line, you will get underline this, a distance from the seat of disease. Underline that. Distance from the seat of disease. Okay. Okay. Next, footnote number 2. Read it.
What good results have ever ensued from those fitted artificial ulcers so much in vogue called issues, if even during the first week or two, while they still cause pain, they appear somewhat to check by antagonism a chronic disease, yet by when the body has become accustomed to the pain, they have no other effect than that of weakening the patient and giving still greater scope to the chronic affection. Or does anyone imagine in this 19th century that they serve as an outlet for the escape of the metropolitans. It almost appeared as if this were the case.
Okay, now 19th century can be replaced with 21st century. Okay, that is why I wanted you to read this. Okay, this you can substitute it with 21st centuries and the modern practices which are should be called out. Those modern practices falling to your eyes and should be called out. Here in paragraph number 36 ended the first chapter of derivative methods. You can put a line here, dash here, a long dash here, and write it the 4, chapter number 4. That means the first 3 chapters were of the Tolecosm. Now the first chapter of this Deus Natura, this derivative method. Derivative method is also carrying 3 chapters. First chapter ends here. Now paragraph number 37.
Whilst most physicians of the old school, imitating in a general manner the efforts of brute, unaided nature for its own relief, carried out in their practice these derivations of merely hypothetically utility, just as they judged expedient, guided by some imaginary indications. Others, aiming at a higher object, undertook designedly to promote the efforts of the vital force to aid itself by evacuation and antagonistic metastasis as seen in diseases, and by way of lending it a helping hand to increase still more these derivations and evacuation, and they believed that by this hurtful procedure they were acting Deus Natura and might justly claim the title of Minister Naturae.
Okay, so what is Deus Natura? Deus Natura is imitating the nature, and Ministry Natura is the servant of nature. Okay, these are the question for your undergraduate examinations or maybe postgraduate examination if you are doing your MD in organon of medicine. Okay, these are nothing but theoretic organons. Next.
As the evacuations affected by the natural powers of the patient in chronic diseases are not infrequently the precursors of alleviations of troublesome symptoms, violent pains, paralysis, spasms, and etc. So the old school imagined these derivations to be the true way of curing diseases and endeavored to promote, maintain, and even increase such evacuation. But they did not perceive that all these evacuations and excretions.
This is one sentence only. Okay, can you have you marked it? This is the one sentence. So many words are there. So these long sentences are making organon of medicine difficult to read. Okay. So here in this sentence is calling that these derivation by nature is trying to attempt the elevation, though it is of temporary character. Okay, not permanent. So old school were telling that these can be copied and can be goes at non plus ultra, that we are doing this derivative in order to relieve the pain, but these are not permanent. Okay, these are of temporary nature. These derivative methods which are giving patient a short relief. Okay, these are going to give relief a patient for a time being. Next.
But they did not perceive that all these evacuations and excretions, pseudo-crises, produced by nature when left to herself were, in chronic diseases, only palliative, transient alleviations which, far from contributing to a real cure, on the contrary rather aggravate the original internal dyscrasia by the waste of strength and juices they occasioned.
Underline this.
No
Underline
one
this. Aggravate the original internal dyscrasia by the waste of strength juices they occasion. Why they are aggravating the internal medicine? Firstly, due to suppressive therapy sometimes, and due to their side effects, and next due to loss of strength for producing these kind of operations.
No one ever saw a chronic patient recover his health permanently by such efforts of crude nature. Not any chronic disease cured by such evacuations affected by this organism. On the
There is a
contrary,
short
in
footnote
such cases,
to it. There is a short footnote to it. Whenever in organon of medicine we are seeing a short footnote, we are very happy. So this short footnote. Equally inefficacious are those produced artificially. Naturally producing these things are also debilitating and not curing, not really curing, and those you are producing artificially are also not curing.
on the contrary, in such cases the original dysplasia is always perceptibly aggravated after alleviations, whose duration always becomes shorter and shorter. The bad attacks recur
Elevation,
more
duration is
frequently.
the relief, duration of the relief becomes shorter and
Yeah.
shorter. You will get patients that of epileptic attack giving anticonvulsant medicine and the dose is being increased throughout the time. You will get patients of thyroid and on altroxin, thyroid patients on altroxin. You won't ever heard that the patient was on 25 milligram of thyroid altroxin. Now it has been decreased to 10 or 12. Okay, you will not get those patients. It will need more and more and more. Same thing is for the painkiller also. It will need more stronger painkiller. Migraine patient giving was being given a medicine, allopathic medicine. It is increasing in quantity. More and more the patient will need. You won't hear that thyroid hypothyroidism patient is needing 50 and 2 years after it will need 75 and after it will need 100. You will see patients of needing altroxin in 150. Okay, 150 altroxin daily. It is goes on increasing. Can you term it cure? No, it is not cure. Okay, it is a palliative method. What should be your approach in these kind of cases where these patient needs means thyroid hormone is less and less? What your mind is telling? Tell me your understanding of treating a hypothyroid patient after knowing the physiology. Your understanding of treating it. What your understanding is telling that one understanding is this, that thyroid hormone is less in the body, so you have to supply from outside. Okay, this is one of the understanding. By going through this, there are people who are prescribing thyroidinum 3x. Okay, homeopaths. There are homeopaths who are prescribing thyroidinum 3x, 1 tablet or 2 tablet daily, and they will go on increasing this. And they are telling that we are supplementing. Is it a correct way? No, along with, if they are along with that thyroidinum 3x, if they are treating their patient chronically for means for chronic miasms or for totality, after getting totality, if they are treating, what they will do, they will stimulate the thyroid hormone to produce more thyroid. There is a mechanism in the body which is regulating the thyroid hormone. What is that? What is that? It is called feedback mechanism. It is called feedback mechanism. Have you heard about TSH? TSH
Yes, sir.
produced by pituitary. What is TSH?
Thyroid stimulating hormone.
What it is doing? Regulating the thyroxine hormone.
Thyroid hormone.
Okay, T3,
Hmm.
both T3 and T4, it is regulating it. If T3 is more and more in the body, what it will do? It will try to suppress TSH. Okay, and there is beyond pituitary, there is hypothalamus. You know that? Hypothalamus. Okay, this hypothalamus, what it is secreting? It is secreting the TSH regulator, a hormone which is regulating TSH. Okay, so this T3, T4, if it is more in body, it will affect TSH. TSH will go less and less, and it will, hypothalamus ultimately will regulate these things. So this is the cycle. This is the cycle in the body, feedback mechanism, which is regulating the thyroid hormone. Okay, by knowing this, okay, by knowing this, what should be your mode of treatment to stimulate these things? Okay, until and unless TSH is not more than 10 or 11, you need not to be worried about thyroid hormones in the body, because this TSH and T3 more, it is maintaining the thyroid hormone, is it not? The minimum level of thyroid needed by the body is being maintained, even if the TSH is high and high. If it is more, I have seen TSH more than 100. Okay, can you believe it? TSH more than 100, and T3 and T4 is trying to maintain the optimum level. Okay, this is one thing of hypothyroidism. This is one thing of hypothyroidism. The body is trying to maintain the level of thyroid hormone. Okay, so your attitude toward these kind of disease, what should be your attitude? Supplying the external medication? No, stimulate this, stimulate the thyroid hormone to produce its thyroxine. Okay, there is a mechanism already present in the body, try to influence that mechanism. Okay, so this is the case with hypothyroidism. One case is of hyperthyroidism. Okay, what happens there? T3 and T4 is more and more, producing more and more. That is one of the difficult thing. TSH was maintaining T3 and T4, but here, even if TSH is 0.01, okay, T3 and T4 is much more. The body is failing to regulate. This is a case of hyperthyroidism where TSH कम से कम हो गया, एकदम कमे गए, किंतु T3 and T4 is maintaining a high pitch. In that case, this hyperthyroidism, that is making this hyperthyroidism difficult to cure. Okay, understood? Hypothyroidism is easy to cure with homeopathy because body has got a definite mechanism to treat it. Okay, optimum level of thyroid hormones are being maintained. Even the thyroxine is, TSH is more and more, thyroxine hormone level is ultimately regulated. But in hyperthyroidism cases, some cases it may happen that TSH is again low and low, even negative TSH cannot be there. Okay, negative TSH cannot be there. The body is trying hard to maintain the thyroxine, but thyroxine is going up and up. It happens in hyperthyroidism due to some toxic nodules. It may be due to some this malignancy of thyroid hormone, malignancy of thyroid gland. Okay, so this hyperthyroidism is difficult to cure, but hypothyroidism is easy to cure with homeopathy. And what is going to happen with that supplement? If you are supplementing with your altroxin from outside, the body will need more and more throughout time, and ultimately this thyroid gland will be failing. Okay, so this comes in discussion. There are lots of like these diseases are there which can be discussed in this fashion. Okay,
Hello, sir. Should I read?
yes.
The bad attacks recur more frequently and more severely in spite of the continuation of the evacuations. In like manner, on the occurrence of symptoms, excited by an internal chronic affection that threaten to destroy life. When nature, left to its own resources, cannot help herself in any other way than by the production of external local symptoms. In order to avert the danger from the parts indispensable to life and direct it to tissues of less vital importance, metastasis. These operations of energetic but unintelligent, unreasoning, and improvident vital force conduce to anything but genuine relief or recovery. They
Underline
only
these. What
silence in a
are the things you are getting? The force. Okay. You are getting energetic but unintelligent, unreasoning. Improvident vital force conduce to anything but genuine relief. What it is doing in chronic diseases, in SORA, in syphilis, in psychosis, what it was producing? It was producing the external symptoms to allay the disease, not to cure the disease. This cannot be termed as cure. They are only silence in a palliative manner. Next.
They only silence in a palliative manner for a short time the dangerous internal affections at the cost of a large portion of the humors and of the strength without diminishing the original disease by a hair's breadth. They can at the most only deter the fatal termination which is inevitable without the true homeopathic treatment.
Okay, any
The
chronic disease cannot be treated, cannot be cured without a homeopathic similar medicine. Okay, write it down in your notebook that any chronic disease cannot be cured without a true natural chronic disease needs a homeopathic treatment to be cured. Okay, there is no method in the world which can cure a true natural chronic disease. Okay, we have discussed this point again and again that what we are telling that these are cure are not cure in the real sense, that are either suppression or modification of disease. Disease is going on in the internal economy until and unless it mates with an artificial disease which is similar in its manifestation. Okay, disease will go on and on in the internal economy until and unless it meets with an artificial disease which is similar in nature to that. Okay, otherwise no other method available in the world which can cure a chronic disease. Okay, this is pakka. Okay, you should be proud of homeopath. You are entitled.
The allopathy of the old school not only greatly overrated these efforts of the good automatic power of nature, but completely misjudged them, falsely considered them to be truly curative and endeavored to increase and promote them, vainly imagining that thereby they might perhaps succeed in annihilating and radically curing the whole disease. When in chronic
See,
disease
this
the
is only
vital force
a
seems
single sentence. This is only a single sentence. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lines. A single sentence. You encountered a single full stop here. Next.
when in chronic diseases, the vital force seems to silence this or that troublesome symptom of the internal affection by production, for example, of some humid cutaneous eruption. Then this servant of the good power of nature,
Mr.
nature
Natura.
naturally applied to the discharging surface is cantharite plaster or any exutory in mesoderm in order this natura to draw still more moisture from the skin and thus to promote and to assist nature's object. The
The
cure
cure. Okay.
by the removal of the morific matter from the body. But when the effect of the remedy was too violent, the eczema already of long standing and the system too irritable, he increased the external affection to a great degree without the slightest advantage to the original disease and aggravated the pains which deprived the patient of sleep and depressed his strength, and sometimes even developed a malignant febrile erysipelas. Or if the effect upon the local affection, still recent perhaps, was of milder character, he thereby repelled from its seat by a species of ill-applied external homeopathy. The
Underline
local
this.
symptoms.
Ill-applied external homeopathy. This may be your question in your undergraduate examination. Ill-applied external. We will read this when we come to the local diseases in the aphorism. Okay. So there is in this paragraph, there is two things. One method of old school was that they were telling that by means vital force, internal disease. So they were going to increase this eczema by their cutaneous plasters. Okay. Number one thing they were doing, trying to increase this eczema by their cantheris, by their mesothelium. Okay. Number one thing. What this is called? This is called act of minister natura in order to do deus natura. Okay, act of servant of nature in order to copy the nature. Next thing, what they may do this is one thing. It is review of whole allopathic. No, it is a review of whole allopathic practice of Hahnemann's time. So what other thing they may do, external application which will suppress this. Okay, which will suppress this cutaneous eruption. These two things may happen in allopathy. Next, and that they are suppressing with an ointment which happen to be an homeopathic, sulfur ointment. You will find mostly eczematous cream. Those are used in allopathic school for curing eczema externally, contains sulfur in it, and that is homeopathic to that eruption. Okay, so that is why it is called ill-applied external homeopathy. Clear? Now, while we are discussing this, it is better to discuss here that the external manifestation of psora can be suppressed by medicines also and can be naturally suppressed. Okay, can be suppressed by medicines, external application, and can be naturally suppressed. Okay, what will happen if it is left uncured, means unattended? Eczema on the you will see a person is suffering from that eczema and not doing anything. A peculiar sulfur patient who is a racked philosopher, not caring for his body, he will you will see the eczema on his body surface and he is not doing anything with that. It is unattended. Okay, if it is any external application has not been applied there, it will be there for long. It may be suppressed naturally. Okay, number one thing, if it is not suppressed naturally, what will happen to that? What will happen to that? It will go on increasing and increasing. Okay,
Yes,
it will
sir.
go on the external manifestation, primary manifestation of any miasm. If left unattended, it will go on increasing and increasing. With psora, two things may happen. It will go on increasing and increasing, or it can be suppressed naturally. Okay, you will get this in Robert's philosophy, that it is being suppressed naturally, natural suppression. Okay, or it will go on increasing and increasing. But with the syphilis and psychosis, advantage is that it is not suppressed until and unless external application is applied. Okay, that is the advantage of psychosis and syphilis primary manifestation. If it is not suppressed by external application, it will only go on increasing, but not suppressed naturally. But psora eruption, psoric eruption, it is dangerous because it can be suppressed naturally. Okay, you will get it in Robert's philosophy and Hahnemann's chronic miasm theoretical part, that psoric eruptions, psoric primary manifestation may be suppressed naturally. Next.
The local symptoms, which had been established by the nature on the skin, for the relief of internal disease, thus renewing the more dangerous internal malady, and by this repulsion of local symptom, compelling the vital force to effect a transference of a worse form of morbid action to other and more important parts. The
Underline
patient
this.
become affected.
This is we called journey of disease. The disease will go from one part to other part. This is we are calling journey of disease. Just imagine the disease is moving from one part to other. Transference of a worse form of morbid action to other and more important parts. Next in order. First, liver were affected. We removed that. That pathology we have removed by our operation. Then ovary will be affected. We remove that. Then the lungs will be affected. We are removing that. Okay. This is all go again and again and again and again. Okay.
The patient become affected with dangerous ophthalmia or deafness or spasm of the stomach or epileptic convulsions or attack of asthma or apoplexy or mental derangement and etc. in place of the repelled local disease.
Okay, this we will find in local disease also. When we will read the aphorisms of local disease, we will find these examples also. Now, read the footnote.
Natural effects of the repulsion of these local symptoms, effects that are often regarded by the allopathic physician as fresh disease of a quite different kind.
Okay, when they are suppressed, this ringworm suppression on the head and patient is suffering from epilepsy, the dermatologist will refer the patient straight to the neurologist. Why? Because he will think that this is a new disease. But as a homeopath, you should think that this is not the new disease. This is new form of the old disease. The old wine in a new bottle. Okay. Let me show you the example Hahnemann is giving. Ringworms. You will get somewhere. Ringworm suppressed causes epilepsy. Okay. In aphorism number 39 or 40. Okay. You will get ringworms, that suppression of that causing epilepsy. Okay. It is affecting immediate part. Okay. And you will get lots of cases of suppression of eczema followed by asthma. It is also authenticated by the old school. Okay, there are types of asthma, no? Topical atopic asthma, is it not? That which is being developed after this suppression of the skin eruption, eczema. Okay. So, but why this? We have read that the old school physician will think that this is a new kind of disease, but they don't know that is the old disease are reappearing in a modified form. They are modifying the disease to its gravest form, and this is we call a journey of disease. Okay. Next, we will read from for paragraph number 40 onward. Next day, anyone having any question, you can ask so that we can answer it in next 5 minutes. We will try and finish this introduction in next few classes so that we can go in the organon text proper. Anyone having any question? From aphorism number 40 onward, we will read next. Okay. So thank you for giving your attention for 1 hour. I hope you enjoyed the class. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.